Hey everyone, Dan here. We are after hours on Tuesday, March 9th, and I wanted to take a look at some of the plays that we've been keeping track of in the last week or two. So let's get it kicked off with AMC. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a ton, and you'll get notified without me having to send a tweet that hopefully you see. So let's get into it. AMC, you'll see it's moving right now in the after hours. There must be a lot of volume there because this is a 30-minute chart and you can see it pretty actively moving. So that's interesting. But what I have been saying for over a week was the be-all, end-all, most important thing that AMC needed to do was to establish support at 9/11. And I've been saying this all the way back when the price was through here. I said these price levels in the 7s and the 8s, they don't matter because AMC is going to fizzle and sell off if it can establish at 9/11. And if it can establish at 9/11, it has some hope. And what do we see? Yesterday, it started bouncing on and off 9/11, on and off. In the after hours, it established. It was able to push off 9/11 and it was able to sustain through this other sticky zone that we had identified a little over a week ago. And then it pushed off of that as the market opened today. So 9/11 has proven to be the springboard that we expected it to. This 1029 zone that we had drawn in again about a week and a half ago, that still stands. So all of these things still standing just tell me that this chart is still intact and we should still be looking at and sort of basing decisions off of this chart. So we got up to our 1029, tried to push off, got drawn back down to it, tried to push off, got drawn back down to it, and now have been struggling with it and have pushed off again in the after hours. So really good movement, great signs for the bulls on AMC. I still have a long position in AMC, thankfully. And so I think from here, we either may need to draw in some additional zones. Yeah, so these are the highest zones that I had drawn in. So, I'll send out on Twitter tonight at Dan_coil. I'll put that in the description below. I'll send out sort of like updated targets and ranges that we can be looking at above this 1029 level. And maybe we'll share that in tomorrow's video. But I think we're looking good. And it's pretty steep, but maybe there's a channel that we can say we're kind of starting to form. I'll have to take a look and see because some of these angles are so steep. I don't know if it'll hold up as far as drawing in a channel, but we'll see. If you've seen the analysis on GameStop, that's been holding to a channel for several days now and has been a good sign for that one to keep its momentum going. So it would be a nice thing to see, but not like a necessary thing to be in a channel in order to have upward momentum. All right, so there's AMC. PLTR had like an interesting day. It felt a little bit like a snail, to be honest. I had tweeted out this morning as it was like coming up into this high 23 level, that I was looking for a pullback in order to deploy a call option that I had queued up. And, it did pull back here and then double bottomed as PLTR has been really apt to do and then pushed off of it. But I didn't actually enter the trade because, if you're familiar with options, you need strong movements in the price in order to really make it worth it. And to me, it spent too much time. I mean, even when I just saw it sort of like around the 11:30 mark today, it wasn't making sense. It didn't have, to me, the buying strength to really be pushing as much as I needed it to push. And there were so many other stocks that were moving really strongly today. So there was just better places to put the money today, in my opinion. But not a bad showing for PLTR. Well, it's back at this yellow line that, we found ourselves back at time and time again. I would pay really close attention to this box, sort of see if this double, triple top is like a really challenging instance for the stock, like, if it sort of like hit that inflection point and it's going to continue to struggle. I will just say over the course of like the several days now, it has just continued to struggle as it's been unable to establish longer term concrete support at this yellow line, which is 24.29. if it can establish that as true support and push off, to me, the next consolidation zone is here. So if we can get into this blue box in any time in the near future, that'll give us more confidence that we're going to be pushing toward 30, which is actually, to me, the next big sticking point. So there's a lot of run room there, but it's got to, once and for all, leave this yellow price target behind, because that one has just been a thorn in its side. All right, FSEL. FSEL had also a very good day today. And we had put out a video on this last week, and this is an insane run-up. Very, very good. A full more than $2, at least at this point in the after hours, for a stock that's trading, under 16 bucks a share. That's an excellent percentage. So, the nice thing about this is this was obviously the bullish chart that we had drawn before it had, this big continued sell-off here. We were looking at these zones. It's come back to this zone here, which we said was a really important area for it. And if it continued to hold that 1496 red zone as support, then that'll just continue to give us confidence that that this is going to be okay, and that it's going to be good to push back toward and into the 20s, which is where I think it belongs, to be honest. And but yeah, I'm really looking for continued strength. Sometimes these wildly impulsive jumps aren't the best, and it can be challenging to catch that and ride it for a longer term, because oftentimes it's going to result in some level of a pullback, and then a continued march north. So we'll see, what that brings. But I mean, these growth stocks has had such a ridiculous beatdown that this whole beatdown here is such an overreaction that it's almost hard to say that today's little move that just captures this this portion of the beatdown, that is also an overreaction. I mean, that just might be a start to a correction, but this here doesn't look so unfamiliar, because this looks pretty similar. So and we can see here what happened after that. So I would be cautious as it gets into these levels. If it can't establish them as support pretty quickly, it might have a challenging time having a sustained run back up just yet. And finally, Square, we had just put out a video on this last night, and I said, Square, I think the video, the thumbnail says she's about to blow, and sort of shows some volcanoes exploding. But Square had a great run up today from, about 210 up through 226. And so it's holding just under this zone that we had drawn in here. And what I'd be looking for is continued support at the 222 level, and then breaching 226 and heading back into the 230s, 240s. Here's a really nice run zone where I would try to catch it. Obviously, last night in the video, we had said the green box is the area where once it's there, we'd be looking to make the money. So that proved out to be true. It was in that area last night in the second half of the trading day and then after hours. And if you had bought in then you would have definitely been in the green today. So things to look for. But yeah, if you're in any of these or all of these or considering jumping into these, good luck. I'll keep everyone updated on my Twitter. Definitely feel free to use the comments section below too if you have questions or ideas and want to share them. Yeah, let's leave it there. I'll see you all in the next video.